Sylvia dropped to her knees. In a moment I never expected, I began to see her cry, what I could only imagine to be tears of despair, of loss of hope and dreams, of the desire to protect something without the power to do so. "Please," Sylvia said, begging through her tears. "There must be something, anything. She is my Rebecca. She is all I have left of him. If there is anything that I possess, my magic, my life, my soul, I will give it. Please, help me," Sylvia said, softly, the tears streaming down her face, one hand trying to wipe away what she could of them. And the man in the pinstripe suit simply stood there, looking down at her. No longer did he have his ever-so-present smile, or even the somewhat terrifying presence that I have known to see him in, that I have known to see him take. No, I see on his face an expression that, if I didn't know better, I would say was sorrow. Sorrow for the pain of another person. "Sylvia," the man in the pinstripe suit said, as Sylvia wept on her knees. "As I said before, Sylvia, I know your pain, your suffering, your bitter despair and loneliness. I know it all too well, Sylvia. In comparison to you, I am ancient. The string of my life runs long, Sylvia. I have seen countless others that I know, that I cared for, grow old and fade, buried to the ground, bones aged to dust. And the pain and sorrow that comes when they are no longer there, when there is no longer anyone who knows your pain, who understands your suffering, who remembers when you could truly smile. Smile as if the sun would never stop shining upon your life. Smile as if joy was a state of being. And the pain that one experiences when they lose that smile, that joy, can be overwhelming, but it can be tided with the love of those who you care for, who know you, who understand the smile that used to be, and why it is no longer. You cling to your daughter's life with every fiber of your being, because she is the only one left, the only one who can truly remember your smile, your joy, the happiness you experienced with the man you love, the family you created together. And now time has taken it all away. All that remains is your youngest, the last living scrap that shows you were ever loved truly, and truly loved them in return. You fear that she is your light, that once she dissipates from this world, so too will the light in your life, that you will never again feel joy or love, that the years will strip from you kindness and compassion, and that all that will happen is that you will grow cold, a statue of stone simply passing through the ages. I, too, understand this." The man in the pinstripe suit raised his hand, and with a snap of his fingers and a flash of red, something began to apparate, beginning with a flicker, a small light that began to build, growing in brightness, until there was finally a spark, and in the midst of that spark, an object, a very small object, what appeared to be a necklace with a small locket affixed to it. The man in the pinstripe suit raised the hand holding the cane. The cane simply floated, suspended in air by a dim red glow, as he took in hand the locket, lowering it and placing it in front of Sylvia. Sylvia managed to look up through the tears. She seemed surprised for a moment to see the necklace. Her hands shook as she took it in her grasp. I could not see what was in the locket, but I do know that Sylvia opened it, looking inside. And as she did, she clung to it, pulling it tight to her chest as the tears continued to flow. What do I do?" Sylvia asked the man in the pinstripe suit. How can I go on if I have nothing left? If all else fades to ashes, how do I live?" Sylvia asked, still clinging to the necklace tightly, holding it to her heart. "Sylvia," the man in the pinstripe suit replied, "death is a curious thing, Sylvia, as is love. They are two forces, both of which are defining aspects of life and all that exists within it. For there to be life, then there must be love, and regardless of how much one loves, life always ends, both giving in cruel and equal measures. But sometimes, Sylvia, even death itself is not enough to stop love. If one's love true enough, strong enough, then it can supersede death itself. Two souls can be so meant for one another that even after death, they cannot be separated. Regardless of the difficulty, regardless of how impossible it may seem, they will find each other at any cost, at any measure, regardless of the effort that it takes. Death in and of itself is a strange and mysterious thing. There are many realms that one can go to when they die. Sometimes it's faith that decides, belief in something. Sometimes it's one's own actions that make the deciding factor. And other times, it is an act of sheer will, that one's soul simply refuses to fade, that it has purpose and reason, and in that purpose and reason finds its way back. Even the strings of time themselves unable to bind them. "Look at me, Sylvia," the man in the pinstripe suit said, looking down at Sylvia seriously, unflinching. Sylvia looked up at him, tears in her eyes, still unable to stop them. "I'm going to tell you something, Sylvia. I'm going to let you know the secret of the dealer. The dealer's power, just like the other 7 legendaries, is unique to the dealer. It is in essence a product of the dealer's existence itself, and a reflection of who they are, of who all dealers have always been. The ultimate power that comes when one dealer completes the cycles and breaks the bounds that the universe has set. Obviously, this power is known as the deal. People believe that it is simply to give or to take, that the power of the deal is an exchange, and that it can be used in no other way, and that's if they know of it at all. But they're wrong. The deal is something else entirely. The deal is in essence nothing more than a promise. It can be from one person or 2, or even multiple, but in the end it is the promise that has the power, that one will honor the promise, the deal. And that is in essence how the power works. It does not simply exchange one thing for another. No, it works entirely differently. It makes promises reality, forcing the universe itself to rewrite whatever is necessary in order to fulfill the promise, the deal. Nothing and no one is beyond it, because it is the universe itself that enforces it, that makes it reality. Even I am bound by the deal. Once it is made, it cannot be unmade. And if I attempt to break the deal, even I am subject to the consequences.